Just got this in. So this is the Helifar FUUTON 2. It is an FPV racing drone ready to go, bind and fly to your Taranis radio, and we're going to be taking a look at it today and giving it a little flight review. So let's go over some of the specifications. We've actually got a lot of genuine components in this one. It comes with a Helifar FUUTON F4 version 2 all-in-one flight controller, and it's also got a Helifar branded video transmitter, the Helifar Atlatl HV. So we've got some genuine components there. In the front, we've got a genuine Runcam Micro Swift. So all in all, the only thing that is an off-brand is the BL Heli 30 amp ESC, and the motors appear to be off-brand as well. On the video transmitter, we're running a Pagoda 2 antenna, and as you can see, it's using a little MCX connector, which is nice, and it's wired in down through here. The ESCs are not on the stack, and that's probably because they didn't have a whole lot of room to install it. So they're on the arms. As you can see here, there's 4 individual ESCs. Now, I've only done a couple things to my FUUTON 2, and I did change some of the gyro settings in Betaflight based on Andy RC's recommendations, and I've got those for you here real quick so you can see what I did. And I've also done just some small things to help protect it. I pulled these wires up through here, and I added this heat shrink. That way these antennas are all nice and safe. I also added this tape to the individual arms on the ESCs because some of the wires were exposed right to here where the heat shrink went from the ESC to the main board, and I wasn't really happy with that, so I got that nice and taped up. That way you don't get a little prop strike if one gets bent hitting your wires. So that's just something I would recommend doing. Wrap it up with electrical tape real quick. I've also installed this mount here, the GoPro Hero 5 session mount, and that is what we are going to be flying with today on it. I've got 3 huge zip ties right in there. So yeah, this doesn't come with it, but I'm going to show you flying with this on there, what it's like. We're going to be flying with this 1300 milliamp hour Black Label indestructible quads battery, which should give this thing enough punch. Before we get this thing in the air, I want to show you guys something really, really cool that you don't see on a lot of these bind and fly models. So the receiver on this thing is a genuine FreeSky XSR receiver. As you can see, it's right in there, and they've wired it up with full telemetry. It is an awesome function to have that you can just plug in your drone right here, set it down, get your radio and then just go into the script, and then boom, you've got your Betaflight PIDs right here in your radio. You've got your rates. You can change the anti-gravity. You can change the filters. You can change all this stuff right here, right in your radio, because it's all configured and wired up. One last thing I just wanted to go over is that inside the box, you don't just get the drone and you're just thrown into figuring it out all yourself. They do have a manual that they link to for the FUUTON F4 flight controller. They give you all the specifications here on paper, and they also give you this little card with all the parts that the Helifar FUUTON 2 has. So that way, if you do break something, you can order it and nothing is a mystery. But you also get the Runcam stuff. You get the little Runcam control board and the genuine card that tells you, hey, this is a Runcam. So it's nice that there's a little bit of documentation included with the drone. That's not always something that you get when you buy a bind and fly model. Sometimes they just leave you to figure it all out entirely on your own. All right, I've yapped enough. It's time to get this thing in the air. And there's takeoff. As you can see, it does have a current sensor. As we go behind this tree, we've got a little bit of VTX breakup, not a lot. I'm not really being super hard on the battery at the moment. We're doing a very gentle power loop.
2 minutes.
As you can see, it's a pretty smooth flyer, even with the GoPro on it. Got a little VTX breakup here and there as we go through some of these objects, but the one thing I do notice is that VTX does have some lines in it. I'm not talking about the static, I'm talking about like the little lines that you see. And that's just something that the Holy Bro Atlatl seems to have. I'm not really sure why this VTX is like that, but it's definitely got some lines, some noise. Maybe a capacitor might clean that up, but it's not going to stop me from flying. It's not anything that's going to stop me from
1 minute
flying this drone here. Let's see if we can circle this tree. Very smooth. We're definitely going to go for another flight. It's looking like it's time to come in, because that's about the end of our battery. I got about 3 minutes on that flight. Sort of just floating around here.
Timer 1 elapsed. On.
There we go for flight number 2. We're off. Now we got some punch. Probably gonna burn up this battery a lot quicker this time, because I know you guys want to see that punch. This is going to be our aggressive flight. You hear that thing scream? Got a lot of power. I just barely clipped that tree branch. Yep, full heavy on the throttle there like that for most of that flight. But this battery is doing pretty awesome, but we only got about 1:30 out of that one. That GoPro, let me tell you, it definitely takes off of your time when you go full punch like that. Alright, we got another flight for you guys. Let me let you hear some of that audio from that VTX, so that way you can hear what it sounds like. I know there are some people that like to hear what their copter sounds like over the video transmitter audio, so just figured I'd include that. I could probably work on this GoPro tune a little bit more, but it seems to fly pretty alright. Little minor oscillations here and there, especially when we're doing power loops. Let's see. If you're gentle with it, it seems alright. The great thing is though, hey, if you want to make pit adjustments, you just do them right from your radio or do them from smart audio. It's not hard to do it. You don't have to go inside and mess with the computer every time you want to make a change. So it's really nice to have a model like this all hooked up with smart audio and control from the radio. I love these views that you get from these dives. Oh, and since it has RSSI, you see that? That was it telling me that my signal was critical, or low, rather. So what do we think of the Helifar FUUTON 2 after going through a few flights? Well, this is a very solid build of quad, as I said, and the proof is in the way it flew. As you can see, most of the flights were really quite smooth. I do think the GoPro 2 needs a little bit of work, but I'm always tweaking things like that. And it's nice that with the controller, once again, you can tune your PIDs, or you can use the smart audio to access it from the menu. So really nice to have that on a bind and fly model. As far as the video transmitter, I don't think that the Helifar Atlatl is a good VTX. I think there's better ones out there, but as you can see, this whole thing seems to be very ingrained with Helifar parts, so I guess that's what they chose to put in it. It's got some lines in the FPV feed, we cannot ignore that, but otherwise you can still fly just fine with a little bit of that noise that's in there. That may or may not be acceptable to you. Sometimes getting one of these things with completely clean video is actually quite a rarity. There are only a few models out there that I can say that have perfectly clean video, and you also have to consider the price point that you're getting this thing at. If I wanted more power later on, I would probably change these motors. These are probably not the most efficient motors in the world. They say that they're 2,400 kV, but they felt maybe a little less when I was flying them. Not a big deal, but this is still definitely a model that you can buy and then grow with later and add to it if you wanted to. So I would say overall, this is a solid build. If you get it for the right price, yeah, I can absolutely recommend the FUUTON 2. There's way too much junk being pumped out there, and thankfully this one is not one of them. So even though it may not have that wow factor of the original FUUTON because times have changed, you're not going to be disappointed if you drop the money on this quad as it is today. Alright guys, so that's the end here. That is the look at the FUUTON 2, the Helifar FUUTON 2 from GearBest. I hope you guys enjoyed the review and found this look at it informative and objective. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you know where that is. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down in the description below. You want to yell at me because I did something stupid in the review, or you just want to give me a kudos, all the comments are always appreciated. As always, have a great day, guys. I'm going to take the FUUTON 2 out because I've already got all my stuff set up and go for some more flights.